We're going to go through, I've got several years of antique vintage marble collecting hoard, and it's time to inventory and move it along. I'm starting a new project and I need the funds I have sitting here in this little hoard of treasures. So, first on the table, I don't know how exactly this is, I've never tried doing this. The live thing. I don't know if I can zoom in. Excellent. So the bowl is not included, but what do we have here? These here are 1800s marbles from Germany. These are handmade, and these are not used, but would be these marbles here. They represent all sorts of different styles that you're hard to find, and so like here we have a foil cover. So let's see, how can we really display some of these? I haven't tried to use this phone to show off marbles yet, so I apologize if we're going to be on the fly here. So you can see the process here in like unfinished ones of some of these old handmade ones. And what do we have here is these German. We have that basket cane in the center coil. And those ribs, but you can see, so these didn't get finished off rounded. There was probably some flaw, and they before they were able to round it out. There we go. So this would be a big rod of glass that they made from a whole bunch of other rods of glass, and it gets stretched thin the same way they do it today but this is a slightly harder than the borosilicate glass they use today. Beautiful caged hearts. I'm trying to remember all these names. I haven't played with these in a couple of years. So again, this set here has got some amazing examples of hard to find that you wouldn't locate. And these were dug out of the factory, the Limbach Toy Factory yard in Thuringia, Germany. And they're putting in the Farbelstadt. Sorry. There's 60 of them in this lot here. All sorts of amazing different styles of the German classic. So there's like beautiful, beautiful blue antique glass. Okay, so this is a pretty neat, unusual offering. So again, beautiful marble, but it would have been dug. Cheers. Thanks. We're just getting started here on the marbles. And so I've got these actually listed on eBay at this time. And if nobody buys the lot, this black glass on this one's amazing. No one buys the lot, I'm going to break these back down. And I wish there was some way I could link this, video to, but I have to relist. So maybe I'll do that after the video is made. So anyhow, that's the first little item on the list there. Here's a small, some things are kind of dusty. I got to clean them off. I haven't cleaned them in a while. And what we've got here is Vitro agate robin's eggs. This might be the way to do this. Anyhow, I've gotten over $10 each for these things, and there's quite a few more of these stashed away. But when I got the display out, and the silver's polished, it's a really nice set. Vitro agate is the name of this company, and these are from probably the 50s. Whoop. Earthquake. Oh yeah, see that contrasts pretty bad. Okay, figuring it out. Again, the new setup. There's all sorts of tricks to photographing marbles. It's a total art form of itself. So here's a couple of neat items that aren't really marbles, but they're listed in the set right now, and it's Cambridge glass toy tomahawks, right? And so these are probably early 40s or 30s. So they were reproduced multiple times, and I went through and spent the time looking at them, trying to figure out And you can tell by the cleanliness of the seams and things, or the design and the feathering, to tell how new or original, and then the colors of the glass made a difference. So these ones are older, and I can never really confirm. I think somewhere on there might be maker's mark as well. And these were like lost, because you can imagine running around as a kid with one of these things and whoop 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 whoop, and anyhow, pretty bitchin'. That's part of the marble collection because it's period time stuff. Here we have a whole jar, and so let's see. I'm gonna have to. We got a whole jelly jar there full of. Oh, is there an amber down in there? Let's see. That might be amber in there. So these are Civil War clays. There's some really unusual ones. Some that have more of a shine to. I'm sorry. It's all in reverse here. We got the purples and all these different. Let's see. Sorry. So yeah, again, this would have been Civil War era clay marbles. They would have been made to play, and they also were manufactured and sold. I want to try something here. Let's spill a few of those out, and because this is like really neat history stuff. Really, people haven't seen them. They're not like super valuable as far as marbles go, but they should be in part of every collection. All right, yeah. So I think I have some really old glass that came with this set. Is probably what's going on here. This would be so this one's glazed. Most of these aren't glazed. So China is what they would call this. This one's pretty neat, like boneware, right? So that could be like a 1700s thing right there. You get into the really, really old. Marbles is an ancient thing. It's another ceramic glazed, right? Again, glass there. So yeah, a few glass, and this is just a really nicely smooth baked clay. That's what most of these are. That one looks like it was formed. There's a couple of different lines on it, but it's definitely. And so again, some of these were commercial, some of them weren't. Some of these are painted. These robin eggs and stuff are dyed or painted or whatnot. Anyhow, that's some clays. That's part of the collection. Oh, let's see what we got next here. So I've got all sorts of little piles of just plates full of random, going through and identifying the whole process and getting them in the right place, and so you get the transparent ain't happening so well. But like on this one here, what we got? Oh, I never did figure out. Is this a sand? Or is this something else? Is the CAC? It sure looks like one of them CAC sands. But, and then here, this was a wounded warrior, and if it was intact, it'd be a very valuable mib. But I polished it up to display, and I used to keep this one just out in display. Anyhow, I'm not showing a whole lot of, maybe I don't know if it's a vitro or a weak clown. But, oh wait, but what's in there? The cherry bomb. Some other West Virginia Solils, and there's some really old ones mixed in here. And okay, so we have Benningtons mixed in. I'm just getting started. We'll get. Oh wait. Okay, so is there some horsehairs in there? Maybe not. Anyhow, these two are Benningtons. I really need to get in front of the camp and see. Let's do that. So I'm centered. What's this guy all about? Little amber snotty laced. Anyhow, that none of that stuff's super spectacular. Except that cherry bomb. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. There's a purple slag in there. Those are fairly rare. Anyhow, so I've got like tons that I have to go through, and there's things like this beautiful box full of, like, I don't know how much Peltier I got. But I have a lot of the Peltier. So we've got clears, rainbows, right? And this is a semi-high grade box of the Peltiers, but not really. But like, so really nice rainbow shooter. One of the tough ones I'm starting to get to is separating out Kokomo's from Peltier, and so when you start learning the histories, you learn it's like same glass, same machine, same dude down the street. um, we're gonna get into some real exquisite stuff, but so digging in is a little tough, and I don't know how much of that I'm gonna do to pull them out and show all the different. And there's gonna be people who know more about these than I do, and will see things that like might be a rare one that I haven't learned yet. Okay, and so these ones are semi select for whatever reason. Again, it's been a while since I've done any of this, and I don't remember a lot of it exactly. But I had them all figured out, and it would have been nice if I wrote them down. So my fingers are filthy right now because I've been doing stripping silver off of spoons and forks and getting copper on myself. What do we got here? So one thing with marbles, rarity and condition, just like coins or any other collectible, right, is going to make a huge difference in their value. So there's some bright yellows in there, but these aren't the really special ones. These are just nice, awesome ones that are, maybe a dime worth, maybe more, maybe a little less. But I got these all spread out, and I really need to go. Okay, so here well. All right, let's do more Peltier then, so you know the difference. Just right off the bat here. And these are, I'm sorry, are a little dirty. But okay, we'll go with this smaller batch to start with. There's a nice batch of Peltier. So some of these you'll find these zebras, and they'll have speckles in the black. I'm pretty sure somewhere in this group I've got that going on. That's called Avertine. So this is tomato and ketchups, right? And they can get confusing when they get squiggled around, but that's an NLR. Patches, some older one that could be like the golden something or other. Superboy patch, peerless patches. Okay, this stuff here where it's glowy is a special patch. Let's see. Let's see here. What's going on? Is this a burnt zebra with? No, so that's amber. So that's a little bit different, right? So I thought one of these had Avertine in it, but it's been a while, like I said. So there's some NLR, some. What's that? These guys, again, I wish they were cleaner for this to paint, and I was thinking about putting some water out here. I'm gonna try this. See if that does better on the colors. A little something just to wipe these on. No more. All right, Miller Swill Dragon. This is from like the 40s. Let's see. This one here, fairly hard to come by. The Peltier swirl like that. Slag, I'm sorry. Hard to find, very hard to find. Peltier slag. Oh, what's this one? This one, I think they call this a wigger. A wigger. And then again, these can have avertine in it, and I'm trying to get it to focus there to see if there's any sparkle come out of it. They're filthy, my hands are sweaty, so it's notoriously hard to photograph toys because of the glare off the sun or the whatever lights. National Lion, Rainbow, this is another Miller Swirl. These things are amazing. There's tons of those. Some of these are like, you're looking into the ocean when you look into them. Let's see. Especially when the light's hitting them just right. Yeah, I don't have the lighting set for this proper. There you go. Hair. Oh, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Looking into the ocean. There's another one right next to it. Right there is a beauty. Whoop. Oh. Yeah, this would be much better if everything was clean and anyhow, I gotta go through all these. So there's quite the here's an unusual. Oh yeah, so here. This one's got the sparkle in the black. Let's see. There's the pile of hard to finds right there. That might be the highlights of the show. No, just kidding. But you know, when you put together a handful like this, people start losing their minds that know what they're looking at. Oh, let's see. What else can we throw in there? Make it exquisite here. Some. Oh. This one here has got me buggered, whether it's a Peltier or if it's a Masters. No, Marble King. That's a bugger. Someone with more knowledge might know. But I think that was one of my first Miller Swirl. Oh, this gets better though. Like, watch how they keep putting this together. Right? There's that pulled the questionables out. Burnt Superboy. Oh wait, but here's there's Superman. So this is a real one. It's not a Vacor. Yeah. All right. There's a crazy Peltier right there. Anyhow, this is just stacked with all sorts of crazy old valuable glass right there. and just this whole little. But again, it's all dusty, so it's hard to really see in the video. I'm bummed on that. I wish they were all clean. They're much prettier when they're wiped off. Sorry about that. It's a lot of work, and that's one of the reasons I put them away. And you dumb plump. So maybe I have the. Oh, that's a blue. Look at that. That's clear blue. See that? All right. So super, super difficult. Hard to find. It's a zebra, black zebra, blue base, something like that. Blue parent base. Oh, but then Miller swirl. Oh yeah. All right. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Here. Maybe that's the burnt zebra with the sparkles. There it is. Ah, yeah. There's your Abertine sparkle. All right. That's what we've been trying to show. Boom. All right. Abertine sparkles. Marble Hoarde. What's this? Christmas tree? Santa. Oh, yeah. So there's what, 70 high-end Hiltiers on here. All right. So getting dusty. They don't look as nice as they could. Give you an idea what's here, though. All right. Let's put those down. Holy cow. Oh, this is going to get good. This is going to get good. So I just showed the Abertine. I know it's going to be really hard to show on this next set of what I show here. I'm going to go ahead and put this up because that's what we were just talking about. So here's our Masters marbles. And there's so, right, you can get confused with some of these Vacors and some of the old stuff. I bought a bunch of Vacor to give away because they're kind of cool, actually. But what I wanted to show off was this particular piece right here. Let's see, I got stuff flying everywhere on me. Some people really dig the Masters, some people don't. So there's a really wide selection in here. We can get into some of these hard to find. If we, again, I can't remember the names. So what do we got right here? Let's see if we get the light through there a little. So that's transparent amber base. All these beautiful, beautiful. But so I was just showing the sparkles in the black, and this is extremely rare. But there's Lutz. This one here is Lutz, and it's a slightly different thing. But in the Masters on hers, so there's gold Lutz. There it is. And that line right in there. So that's a pretty rare specimen. Whoever gets this and you're reviewing this stuff, if you buy the lot, that guy's in there. There's some other really cool ones. I thought I bought a partner to that smaller one, but again, this is a Vacor stuck in there for some reason, not sure. All these are just beautiful and hard to find Masters. Multicolored. These all got names. I don't remember them. Right off the top of my head. I think that one there's got the green Abertine going off in it. That might be something totally different too. It's hard. Again, sometimes you got to learn all these cut lines and how stuff. Look at this beautiful blue. Green Abertine. Oh, come back. Yeah, let's set these down again. I want to examine that up close real quick. There's some oxblood right there. Let's see. That's pretty rare. Oxblood in a master. So All right. Beautiful. All right. So we've looked at that one a couple times. Multicolor. If we count, we got yellow, orange, red. We got the base. We've got green. So that's a 5-color. This guy here is what we were gonna see. All that green avertine just sparkling. So that's a mineral that gets mixed into the glass and stuff, and it adds desirability considerably. Here's another beautiful. This one's more opaque with multicolors. The earth tones are just amazing, right? Do we have a 5? I think we got 5-color on there even. Focus on my fingers and not the glass. The glass. It's hard for digital cameras to focus the glass for several reasons. The glare is the primary problem. So I can't do it right now, but I think some of these are UV glass and glow in the dark. Right? Not always like the most desired company by collectors, but they're missing out because there's so much going on in this beautiful. I'm just currently looking for. I have another small group of mostly masters, and we'll get that out of the way right now. And there's only just so many you can fit on a display, right? So I've got some other stuff here that I think is all master, or well, that's kind of neat. All right, so sometimes it again, is it a master or is it an old vitro? Cut lines, colors of the glass, all that stuff, and that's a whole other thing. We'll step onto that real quick. For anybody who is wondering about how do you learn this stuff, besides books, which I've got several books are going to get thrown in if somebody buys the whole thing at once. The groups on Facebook was one of the biggest things, but what I'm grabbing right now is like I purchased a set of Wounded Warriors, so you get some of the most exclusive from old collectors. They'll put together these groups, and you're able to match your names with the glass, and so you're not buying by accident the modern knockoffs, right? And so here's the Peltier, and this is the first ones. Like, oh, okay, now I know. And these are super. That's like a super hard to find. These are extremely all hard to find, even in beat up state, right? That they're not really worth a whole lot other than filler. Vitro, same kind of thing. These ones are a lot more common, but once you know what they are, you can tell the difference in the ages. So I basically am chasing stuff that's older than me, 1971 and older. What's this? Masters, right? Okay, so that's what we were just looking at. It's crazy how sometimes they'll throw in these really nice glass that I can't never find otherwise because they're chipped up or whatever when they do that type of thing. Here's a Acro Agate Company corkscrew. I got tons of corkscrews we'll look at. There's some oxblood there, looks like. Maybe this is a Carnelian, I think. Yeah. All right. Okay. Marble King. Just a couple little Marble Kings. Anyhow, so that's one group of Wounded Warriors in the learning set, so you can identify stuff. And I've got the majority of the stuff all broken out, but there's always more and more to learn, right? So here's a whole nother set that I got, and then this one comes with like actually a Google Docs that explains what each of these are and all of their all the cut lines and stuff. So they're all coded. You need to do Google Doc to get what they are, or go through it yourself. And this guy, same thing. He puts in such nice ones into the group that you know, like they're in such good condition. That's part also he's teaching. This guy was teaching me the conditions of stuff. That's LNG slag pack. Foreigns, right? So you know the difference in the the legit versus. Your dad's marbles might be worth something, right? You never know. So here's little cat eye shooters, foreign cat eyes. Again, this is just a how you learn this stuff. There's so many variables in these collections. There's a St. Mary's. Wow, I didn't realize that was Vitro St. Mary's hybrid 2-color. These things are beautiful. We'll get into some. I got a bunch of these, but so this is just like this learner pack. TSI. Which I don't think I've gone through this since I've got to really know. National Line Rainbows. So there's a fairly hard to find right there. This is epic. These ones aren't Wounded Warriors. These are all like individually wrapped, really nice mibs. Epic. I haven't opened this thing up in years. Again, like I didn't even really understand when I got this how to understand it. So I probably didn't go through most of these. What a trip. Here's Jabo Classic. So these are more modern, but they look a lot like, and a lot of times they copy. And then I actually have Jabo, or some of the most modern stuff I have is really valuable marbles. And we'll get to these the slags. A couple of antiques in there. Cool. All right, so that's again how do you learn all this stuff? It's a big giant game of matching. Same thing with coin collecting or whatever it is. How do you learn what? Spend the time talking to the experts and getting it all figured out. So one of the things I like to do is grab whole sets from people and keep them intact. So a lot of times people would take these all and separate them out, okay, into the different groups, or just high grade it and sell off the individuals from the group. So in this group, you look at it, and especially if we were to look at the side, right? The bottom doesn't have a whole lot of value. There's actually like big shooter like that. People collect those after they collect the small ones, right? And so you might see like, oh, there's not a whole lot. These guys, the bees could be separated out, some of this stuff, but on the surface, and we can go all the way around and show there's actually some really nice stuff mixed in down below in here. One of the reasons but a lot of it's generic stuff, but I like using the glass because it displays so nicely everything. But what do we have right here? Right, okay, let's tilt this back down. And just a second here, sorry. Give you an idea. This is gonna go for a while. All right, so in some of these, shooter size. And the glares on this suck. Anyhow, I like to keep these again in the context. Right? I could sell these individually off as singles and cash out. Okay? And just leave and then bulk off the rest of the stuff at a cheap price. And so when selling stuff, bulk sales tend, get less and less. I can't get the real value of each marble when you sell the lot versus that one right there is very hard to find. It's a shooter. It's in great condition, literally in mint condition. I think that's a glass blow right there, what they call blowout so it's not a chip from playing. It's from a little bubble in the glass. Okay, so more NLR with the Avertine in there. Okay, so I've got all these groups like this. They're in full context still, right? I didn't break them apart, and again, you can dig in. It's like, oh my goodness, that's That's right. I think I bought this. I first saw this entire thing. I found a bunch of these other ones I just showed you, but I was after these two, and so these are alley matching alley shooter flames in red and green. Okay, just little treasures hidden in these. Another bee. There's multiple bees in here. Here's okay. 4 fingers on a flame. It's alley flame, blue flames. This super dark blue. There's something else going on with that one I've never really examined. Nice corkscrew. So, rare vitros. Again, this is like original player context, okay? And this one's decent. There's some cool stuff in this one. Some oxblood in the swirl. That's great. That's a beautiful piece of oxblood there. All right, and then wait, is that? I don't think that's oxblood in there. Dark, dark, dark blue. All right, so context. For sure. Yeah. Very happy you like these very much. My dad's 81, raised in Chinook, 37, now lives in Missouri. So yeah, that's like old man setup. Here's another one. Same kind of thing. One person, unknown female player, 96-year-old. When I got this in 2018. No, she passed away in 2018 at 96. and so in this group right here, again, same kind of thing. If you look at the bottom, there's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff that this is maybe a St. Mary's vitro, but it's not the special one I showed you, the bicolors. Things in here that are just freaking mind-boggling. We got, here's a nice alley shooter. And here we've got this pair of shooters right here. This is really cool. Okay, this keeps getting better though. Let me. That's a nice matched pair of. Again, I could sell that pair off of shooters, and but the context to me is so much worth more than not selling these all off. All right, here's a real cherry bomb shooter right there. All right. So, and then some old slaggy, some really cool. Those match shooter cats are pretty because it's all context, right? And then what do we call these ones again? These are the Benningtons. There's ceramics. Some of these cool masters, right? So I could have put there's a whole bunch of really awesome masters in here. All right, here's an extremely rare purple slag, hand gathered. You see the 9 in there? So I haven't gotten into any of that age stuff yet. That shows that it was hand gathered and swirled. So they stick a punty stick, little rod, into the molten glass, and so they'll have the purple glass and then the white slag glass. It denotes those. Oh, but this thing here is probably. It's like just a little random gems hanging out. The like only a real collector will know that this is super freaking valuable. It's a perfect mint National Lion Rainbow shooter. I wish they'd focus in there a little better when I got it up close. It seems to get my hands and not the marble. All right. Oh, but there's more. But wait, there's more. So. Again, all these cool masters, and I think that's a Peltier actually, just all beautiful, clear blue swirled out. All right, I'm down the bottom. Oh, what's this in German? So when we were at the beginning, we were looking at those Germans that we dug. One of the things about having dug ones is it helps you identify what you're looking at from the site, the garbage dump where they come out of, right? Even if they didn't get out in the world. Some vitro. Here's a beautiful aqua slag. These are just highly desirable aqua slags. I got a whole bunch of aqua slags, but again, keeping them in contacts. These couple of true antiques here from single player. All right. Again, another awesome masters. Is there a little oxblood in there? Look at that, super rare. Oh, it's still going. It's still going. Most people don't regard these worth anything, but you can't tell their age. And so here we have context. We know nothing in here is like newer than the 50s. All right. Okay. Again, here's a whole nother. This is called brick. Looks like a brick, but look at that. It's hand gathered. So we can figure this is MFC. So I've got some other MFC bricks and some other stuff that, again, context tells us what things are. But there's a tail, right? And where'd our 9 go? Again, this is dipped into molten glass, spun around, and then they used a wooden or a carbon mold to smooth them out. So, yeah, just again, just like I keep these in. There's a really big aqua. Keep it all in context, and I could totally like single off all these things here. I got offers on that for a lot of money. But that's not, again, it's to me keeping the context for future generation to understand and see and get a whole different level of value out of things that way. All right, so single player sets, pretty cool. And again, like I try to show these pictures on the eBay. You get 25 pictures. There's only so much you can show of all of this, right? I spend so much time tracking these down, finding mislabeled sets, finding stuff that's overpriced or whatever, and contacting them like so here's a moon. So I've got multiple moons. There's 2 companies that made moons, and I've got both. So yeah, it's kind of got a yellow light comes out the back of it, and then the other one's more blue than this. I don't remember which company's which, but those are desired valuable. This whole jar full of really old glass. I'm trying to remember this whole. I think I went through and polished all these. Yeah, these are all. So I was working. This one here was just destroyed. Again, highly desirable, sought after, large size Superman. But before it was just like chunks of broken glass, and now I put it through my machinery to smooth it out. So all these in here, I'm pretty sure even that moon would be restored, which greatly, just like a coin, removes a lot of the value to them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was all restored. Alley Flame. All right. Restored. There's a whole bunch of that Bennington clay, antique stuff, China. These are ceramics, bicolored. There's a name for these different wavy lines and stuff on there. But that's green, and so I gotta have some more of these I can pull out later. They're already out of a bag. Valley Gloss from Holland. I think I got a whole bunch of other of that. I think these were getting ready to be either re-identified, or maybe I was going to list these each. If it's in a bag, there's a reason for it. Oh, wow. I either just got it that way, or it's going to get sold. Let's pull this one out. I want to see what that one is. It's the problem with these things is you end up spending... Oh, yeah. Okay, is that all like exquisite oxblood all the way around it? The natural bubble hole. So I'm thinking this is an extremely rare Marble King. Extremely hard to find rare Marble King, if I'm not mistaken. I got a whole bunch of Marble Kings that are like off the charts rare, like the transparent blue base, like that one. And I think that might be it, but they're mostly all displayed together. What do we got here? Some bitch and swirls. Yeah, real exquisite corkscrew. Oh, here. This one just come in when I stopped collecting. I think this one here is a double ingot. So 2 chunks of glass from the cutter got mixed together. And what do we have there is a little bit green, it's a clear base, a little bit of mossy, and then it's oxblood. And I don't remember the maker. I think it's a Vitro. No. It's an Acro. So it's so hard to like get that to show what it is. My hands go in focus. It doesn't. Let's see. What else can I do here? Can I do it like this? So hard to show it. Anyhow, that's an extremely hard to find rarity. Kind of like a double die type of thing on a coin, right? It makes it unusual and rare, but again, it's in totally mint condition. Beautiful, beautiful glass. All right. So, again, I'm bulking these off right now because I need money to start my mint. And just kind of going through the inventory because you can't see these pictures on... Someone who's totally collecting is going to know exactly what they're looking at. And again, I had this stuff all... It's like a different language. Champion right here with metallics. These are old Champion metallics. See that? There's metal in there. There's a couple of... I think I have another example of these somewhere. That's another hard to find, desirable, older. So they made some newer runs of metallics too. And I believe I have the older one there. Let's see. Oh. What? Yeah, this one might have fooled me. I'm not sure. This might be one of the new Vacors that fooled me. I think that's what that one was. Here's another this oxblood on some masters with oxblood, clear base. So I have some bunch of masters with oxblood. These are extremely hard, very hard to find specimens. Dragons. Matching sets. Shooters. Rare sizes. Again, so yeah, in these boxes. Oh, here we go. So I was showing the Wounded Warrior that I'd polished up that was a multicolor masters, sunbursts they call this, I believe. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 color. I got white, black, blue, yellow, brown. So red and orange, 7. Anyhow, there's money in my hand right there to someone who values it, right? And so it's again, just explain how in each individual these I can spend the time, photograph it, show its perfectness and uniqueness, and list it. And it takes forever to do that. Here's an awesome, this is an oxblood auger, snake auger. Might not be oxblood. Yeah, I don't think that's oxblood, but anyhow, it's definitely a snake auger, unusual, cool, rare. Unusual shooters. Cool, I'm gonna put this one back in its bag and we'll move to the next. So every container is full of gems like this and the whole setup. And again, there's stuff I don't, oh, here. Yeah, pine cone, the pine needle with Avertine, I think. All right. It just keeps getting better. This keeps going on and on. Here, let's check out. So this is I got this set from, I got this from an antique shop, and he got it from an estate sale. And so we're talking about the keeping things in context and everything. These are really, really old. Everything in here is really old, and we can tell by, let's look at, okay, so usage. Okay, that can tell us different things. It can tell us it was played in the city, if it's all broken and cracked and everything. But then we also look at the usage of it and see, what is that? That's an old slag. And what else is in there that's an old slag? Here, there's a 9. So this is hand gathered. That's how we can tell the context of the age. And then we start learning the colors and stuff. And we're like, oh, that's an MFC. This is an old MFC, and there's multiples of those. And an extremely rare MFC, these cobalt blues, right? And then so we've got, was I was telling you about the bricks, and people really dig the bricks, and the older they are and the bigger they are. Okay, they definitely want them to be in good condition as well. They look like they're beat up bricks. Okay, so here we have some beautifuls, and then I think this one, I'm not sure. I think this might be a newer, like the beginning of acro agate. I think there's a couple of items in this little group that are early acro agate. But if it's an early acro agate, it all means it's still very old. And so again, we look at this. We got clays. Here's another MFC handmade, right? I think, okay, so like this one here, I think is an early aqua from acro agate. All right, so we've got Benningtons. We've got well-played Germans in here. Okay, so everything in here is really old. So we can go ahead and assume that, oh, this has got age to it as well, right? And then this has got a cut line on it, but it's also got a 9. So this is probably the transition between when they started using machines and they gather it and drop it in and the machine would cut it. All right, so with the real prize in here, though, there's some cool stuff. There's definitely some cool stuff. There's some more Germans in here. This. I mean, we can line up the 9s. It's cool. I'm not getting a very good show. Okay, all that's really neat. But the highlight, amazing brick right there. Almost a black brick. I never did get a green brick. This. And in context with all these other handmade slags from MFC and the cobalt, there's nothing else quite like this. I've never seen that in any other. There is, I don't know if it's going to show in here. There is the slightest, I've never got it to photograph, but I'm seeing the lines. Okay, we can see the striations in here. This is the hardest thing I've never gotten to show in a camera. There's the slightest of gather marks in there. Right? So they say it should have a 9 in it, and I'm pretty sure that it doesn't. Everything doesn't. You can't always see this stuff, but I'm pretty sure that there's our 9 right there from the gathering twist. All right. Anyhow, this would be what's called Imperial Jade. And when I picked these up, that alone was worth well over $300. And then you put it into context with everything else. These have some great value to them as well, especially when they got the 9s on them. They're really in the most money. It jumps up when they're in really good condition. But the Imperial Jade, I think that's super important to show off to the collection. Let's see. There's so much generic, but you run it, and it's like we've been going for a while, and boom, you run into shit like that. So I've been going an hour, and that's. So again, I spent several years learning this stuff, like diving in hard and deep on it all. Let's see. Let's take a look at some cool. This is all. This is a specific thing that people dig. These are called glowies. So then here's a full set of different sizes. I think these were acro, if I remember right. All immaculate, perfect condition. These are all from the. All this stuff is like 50s. Okay, so I think this is a glowy, but I think it's more of a modern one, as opposed to there's two different companies I think that were making these back in the 40s, 50s. There's an acro that's in a corkscrew glowy. All right, double whammy up. So these things here, you hit them with the UV light, and they just light up. And I think my UV light is right handy, but it's too bright in here, I think. Let's take a look, see. It's really cool. There's different colors and different UV lights will light up in different colors, but oh, there you go. Right? That's one of the techniques you can tell the makers by, the uranium glass. If you're in question on them. Oh, look at that little feller though. Ooh. All right, so I think this is a whole nother little subset of Peltier glass. Blueberry, limeade, lemonade. Some of those glow. So maybe, another. That can be one of the tests, I think. Maybe I'll be wrong on it. All right, so it's gonna get we get some cool. Here's a neat set of West Virginia swills and alley flames. Do these light up? See, they don't light up. But there are some beautiful marbles. Cat hair everywhere. tricolors. That green one. Super busy in the orange. So a lot of times these just considered junk to the serious collectors. But it all depends on what your fancy floats is. All right. I wanted to go through and spend the time and learn what each manufacturer of these are. There's some cherry bomb and a very interesting Peltier, an LR. Super busy orange. Let's see. We looked at those. We looked at all. Oh, here we need to look at these. So we've been looking at. We've been noting on bricks and oxbloods, and then I just mentioned limeades. All right, this here's a money box right here. However else you want to put it. Let's see. Boom. All right, so let's see what we got here. Acro agate. The hell is this? It's a frosted mint limeade. Super hard to find VH, whatever. Very hard to find VH, yeah. Rare VHTV. HTV, yeah. All right. Acro oxblood. But, oh, what's this? Holy cow. There's a oxblood with carnelian. Where's my box? Here we go. There's another moss limeade. So there's another brick right here. Super good condition. See, there's no nicks, no nothing on that. We would call this mint plus. There's a little air bubble hole right there. Little pinholes, they call them. All right, but here's the crazy one that come out of that box. This is what they call a purple brick. And so these were experimental and only dug. As far as I know, they were never sold. Super rare. Just the people who dug them are the only people you can get them from, unless someone's reselling like I am. A couple more bricks. Bitch and oxbloods. Oh yeah. There's an oxblood mint limeade. Oxblood limeade. Nice. I don't know what this cream oxblood. A little different. There's a couple of them here actually. I don't know if maybe that's a carnelian. Original carnelian from Acro. But brick, perfect brick. That one's hand gathered. All right, that's a money box, right? Holy cow! Super high grade. So hard to let this stuff go because it took so long to figure it out and gather it. But I really need to move on to the next thing, which is let's take a look here. Here's another. I got this group out of Canada. So right here on the side, we've got glowy corkscrew snake. Auger? That's an auger. That's what they call that. Some oxblood patch, some sort. Unusual. This one has some unusual stuff in it though. So this is either a German or a CAC, Christensen Agate Corporation Company, and I got a bunch of Christensens we'll get to, but yeah, I keep these in context to where they showed up from. Some beautiful Miller Swirl and Peltiers, right? Again, most people would take this and break it down immediately and sell off these high values. So this is probably a CAC right here. It's by the colors. There were several in here I thought were CAC when I went after it. See that yellow, that electric yellow in there? Kind of odd, and it mixed into a slag. But what else was there? There's definitely foreigns in here. That's a foreign. So again, in Canada, there was an interesting mix. That jagged edge right there tells me this one here is a striped transparent from the CAC, Christensen Agate Company. Some people might argue this is a German striped transparent. Beautiful. Is there horsehair on that one? A lot of times you find horsehair on these things. Some people are going to think that's a Jabo. This isn't. Again, context. There's nothing in here Jabo. There is stuff like probably one of the best pieces in this jar right here is a large Popeye. So this is a super desirable. It's called a Popeye. I think that might be my largest Popeye. Acro Agate Company. But yeah, there's these random things like, oh, what's going on over in here? What's over in? And I don't think I have. Yeah, most of this one's just generic or what people would consider junk, but there's definitely some nice masters and Peltiers and things like these guys right here. This guy. So and that's what. So we go back to comparing those the wounded warriors in our learning boxes. So still, we can go in here and say, huh, does this match? Oops. Let me see. Let me get where I'm standing in the right place and can hold it in the right place. Does this even match those colors? Oh, look at that. It kind of does. This tells me, you need to investigate a little closer. I was just thinking about this the other day, and now here we're doing it live. So they would batch glass, but they would just keep adding glass in sometimes. So there's some similarities and some differences, right? That dark right there is too dissimilar, but there is some dark in there, and I don't know. It's just because it's so thick without any white. This one here has more white in it. The big game of matching. The big game of matching. Yeah, here's some clear Peltier. All right. So, the best is still to come. Like I'm barely into this too. Somebody was trying to tabulate all this stuff up for if it's worth the $5,000 to $7,000 asking price. These are all dusty, unfortunately. It kind of blocks the That's probably a Kokomo. But there's really, so, and then I've learned the colors of the Kokomo since I put all these away. I still study it. It's funny. There's a guy named Stephen Barr who does amazing videos. So these are just really nice wire pulls primarily, and they're all filthy. Yeah, so these are called wire pulls. Can't see this one too well. Huh. Just lace is everywhere in that one. This is not a wire pull. Not wire pull. Slaggy. Alright, so this is one of the prettiest. This is one of my last accusations. There's a whole bunch of slags in a jar. And a rubber ball. Slags, let's see. Oh, here's a cool little grouping of various Germans. I don't know if this one here is a belly glass. I think it is. It's a Holland. Let's play it a little bit. So again, this would be called a mica. It's in almost immaculate condition, another mica. So there's literally like little bits of mica in the glass, right? Wonder. It's an old German. It's got like furnace, but that doesn't come off. Metallic, I guess. All sorts of the different cores. I think, well, amber. A couple of clays in there. You know, not only they're beautiful, their history. We're gonna get into some really beautiful ones, and I wish I had this set up better for display, and you could really see everything as it goes. I got these again. Gathered dust, so I had them all put away, and I need to put them all away again. But I just had tables covered with all sorts of. Oh yeah, right. Compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. What do we got? Figure it out fast. But that's a jobbo. Now that I know, and I try not to get too. When you step back, you're like, oh yeah, all that real knowledge is there, and you see the little bits of color or lines or the swirls. They're so complex to learn it all. It's really fun, and I can go, if I ever see marbles, I know which ones are worth something at this point. Here's a neat setup. All right. These are called peewees, and just to give you context, this is a normal size marble. There's the shooter. And then, okay, so people chase peewees because they're pretty cool and they're rare. And there's some small ones in there. It's like under 10 millimeters or something. So then there's these little ones they call foils. So these were from games. And they were like board game pieces. But here I've got, I think I might be the only person in the world that's got these micro marbles. So these are fairly rare, and they again I got them in various. There's Bennington, and there's all sorts of. They did start making them in Jabos, and I do my best to avoid having any of that. But there's all sorts of West Virginia swirls, and there's Peltier. I think there's Acro. I'm not sure who all had the Pee-wee. Look at this one here. It's got oxblood in it. That's awesome. Little horsehair of oxblood in there. Look at that. So something like that alone, I can't like show that when I'm bulking off the whole. But I can do this in this program here where I'm showing these things. So anyone that chases peewees, that right there is just a super exquisite peewee in and of itself, and might make the whole buy worth it. But there's so much more that, like, I showed trays here, multiple trays that are $600 to over $1,000 each, and in the whole pile I'm asking. I think I have it listed at just under 5,000 and buy it now for 7. So, and I have definitely, if it was minimum wage, there's minimum wage alone, just assembling all this stuff, the time it took, no money involved. Definitely $7,000 easy. Easy. I'm pretty sure these ones here are actually Jabo Classic shooters. I have a bunch more. I think these were the two nicest out of the group. They become actually collectors in themselves. But the rest of these are different swirls, Marples, multicolor, and more we learn, and through internet, these things, they're all getting to be identifiable. These are super dusty though, unfortunately. That'd be a Jabo for sure. Let's see if they light up here. Not so much. So I don't know how to identify like Ravenswood, right? Like, that was one of the ones I was trying to figure out and kept getting thwarted. Every time I tried to buy some, they get snatched. They were so desirable. Get some that I actually knew. That's exactly what I'm dealing with. And so we'll bring that out right now, and we'll see. Like, I've shown Wounded Warriors, but this whole other concept of dug marbles and identifying all these swirls that are random, and really they're just random, so you can't value them at all because you don't know what the fuck they are. But so this is an old coot who he goes and buys or digs them up, and I grabbed a set of various, and he goes to the old sites. So these are Heaton Marble Company, right? And so you can go through the dug ones and match the colors and the lines and designs to the ones that are still random, and assign them a higher value that way. And so there's value in just acquiring alley. Right? Alley's pretty common, a lot easier to know. Again, the dug ones are the ones that got rejected for whatever reason, and most of them are really, really nice condition. Jackson, so most people have never even heard of Jackson marbles, right? Or any of these other ones I'm talking about. So here's another bag full of, these are super fancy Benningtons. These are amazing. Super dark blues, but so multicolors, right? So they got 3-4 colors. I don't have any of the pink ones. What's that though? Is there some clays or a purple Bennington? The super fancies. Nice. Greens, browns. All right. 12 Vacker Fiesta Best of 200 from 2020. So I was like giving them away. They're so cool. It was fun to give away older ones. This is Cairo Novelty. And then so I got some other ones inside there. I think they had some separated out as nicer ones, or maybe I identified them. Or so Cairo Marble, Heaton Agates. So this is when I matched up to the Heaton Agates that were dug that I didn't know. So now I know. Champion. The Champion they're still making at that plant, and so there's like a lot of modern stuff in here. I think more than anything. But he sent me some really cool ones that were unusual. What is this? I'm not sure if these were metallics or something. Did he say it on here? Champion. At the Block Champions, they have metallic. Yeah. So then there's some furnace marbles too in the Champions. Cool. So yeah. I got the identifier Doug marbles in there. That's all part of the deal. This can go pretty quick, I think. You got multiples of cool boxes of arranged and ready to be still identified as to exactly, but there's each one of these has got like highly desirable variants in there. The mauves. Right, so what else do we got? Different groupings. Here we go. Bunch of different brown, red flames, orange flames. Then what do we got? Here's a box of really bitchin' aquas and greens. So different horsehairs in these. All right. So hidden in these crazy boxes, what do we come up with right here? This thing here would like drive bids up the fucking wall if I put this up on a single marble on the auction block, right? It's just hiding in a little box. And there's hundreds and hundreds of these things. More oxblood horsehair. Oxblood horsehair. But that one, boom. I mean, this little group right here is money, but that thing is just exquisite. Some dark as anyone. Might be a Jabo or two in this group. They did something similar to this. But for the most part, this is a really older material. And an expert would know the difference if it's Jabo or not. These guys here, flames. I think that's a Japanese. So some of these are. There's a specific thing that the collector's has. Again, I'm off my collecting game. They're all alley flames, 4 fingers or more. Let's see, I'm gonna pick these up moving. Oh boy. I'm not gonna make it through the whole collection. But we're gonna get some more of the higher value stuff here before, and I'll do a pan over again. It just keeps going and going and going. There's like, this one here is super random. And there's absolutely nothing in here other than like when I was going through shit and cleaning up batches or whatever. Like I like that one, and a lot of these are like really have no value. But if you look like at the right now, there's definitely some value sitting right there. That's a panda or a blue zebra right here. What's this guy? And then I think this one here is weak parrot. Vitro. Full on metallic. Random. Not quite a clown. This could be one of those Doug Master clear bass. No, Marble King clear bass. I'm sorry. There's a. Some of these are just like straight historic, hard to find, vitro. Dusty. So I think this is a newer one, but it might not be, and I was trying to figure that out. Across the board here. Again, so these ones, it's like, oh, for whatever reason I really like, but again, and then the more I learn, the more I find out, like, oh, there's a reason I really like that. That's amazing work of art glass right there, right? And some beautiful stuff. Oh, there's something special. So yeah, this is just kind of some headies. The ones I'm still trying to figure out, like that one. Nobody ever had a. They can't say it's not. Beautiful vitro glass. I think I have a lot of vitros in here. It's a Popeye patch, I think. Didn't swirl. We already looked at that one. All right, enough of that group. The Moss Agate shooter. Yeah, I think maybe those were the coolest part. Well, those old vitros, pretty amazing. Let's see. So much of the stuff is just like generic, but it has value to some people. Here's a cool jar full of bees and a batch of what's this one's a peacock. That one's got a name. It's all got names. Boy Scouts. So I got a bunch of Boy Scouts down in there. It's a Christmas tree, burnt. These are all chased. A jar full of chased afters. Each of those has distinct money value to them. Here's a whole set. This is a couple hundred. There's a few Popeyes in here, but mostly it's all of the. There's some monies. This one's got a little nick in it, unfortunately. Holy cow, the clownfish. So these are the corkscrews and corkscrew variants here. Another Popeye. This one's one I was working on, but I just threw it in there because that's where it belongs. There's some others down in here though. There's match sets. These guys are matched with Avertine. There's another one I restored. It's just trashed. Just cool, just to keep in the bulk. Okay, so there's a match pair of the lifesavers in here that are shooter sized. Where's the other one at? I'm not sure. There's an auger. Corkscrew, auger, snake. Auger. There, you see it? Oh. Some things get confused, and you just follow that around. Boy Scouts, and it just what do we got? Transparent. So that's a Popeye. Clownfish. Coca-Cola. There's the other. Okay, wait. No. Shucks. The brown cow. Whole bunch of Christmas trees. Cub Scouts. Buttermilk Cub Scout. There's a few patches in this group too, but Acro is where I wanted to drop them, so I did. Limeade. It looks like it's I don't know what it's doing in there. Stuff gets mixed in a little bit, but for the most part, it's all, there's a 3-color Boy Scout, weak, maybe weak Popeye. I don't see any clear in there. I think you need to have clear in it to have it be a Popeye. Beautiful Acro agates. There we go. Matched pair of lifesavers. Shooter. I think I got a lifesaver regular mid too, somewhere in this group. Oh, let's see. Here, let's check out this group next. All right. We're getting to where I'm saving the very best to the end here. You know, I'll also sweep over the bulk, but this is a cool plate right here. This one's kind of got like every possible thing you can make a marble out of on it. And then it's also got some antiques, as you're seeing right here. So these are literally stone. That was something. There's agates in this group here that are totally hand cut. Definitely, obviously, hand cut stone marbles. But let's do this. Shrink that down a little. Get a little more view of this. So we've got a bunch of old German mostly here and some stone. This is one of those beginner set pieces that I got that I realized later, like, oh, this is one of my freaking most valuable marbles, and it came to me in a beginner set. So this would be a hand gathered purple MFC. Oh, it's a left hand spiral. So you got a left-handed artist. Sorry about that. All right, these ones here are particularly cool. These are my Indians. Black glass, bright color on the surface. This is, I think, a real carnelian. No, this is a real agate. A real carnelian agate. Another cool agate. Banded. Natural stone. But right here, this is a pretty neat. Well, on this side here is everything you can make a marble out of, right? So we've got clay. I got a Popeye in there. I got into there. Here's a 11. Is this an 11 finger cat? What is that? It's at least 9 if it's not an 11. Benningtons. Steely. Oh, magnetic and Steelies. So this one's magnetite. And these are Steelies. Alright. This is wood. I think that one's lead. Sinker. You know what play? We know what the sinker. There's Steelies and there's sinkers. Steelies can get knocked out, and the sinker never going to knock out. Clay. Plastique. That's stone. All right, ceramic, painted ceramic, not painted, so colored ceramic, China. So bummed, I didn't know what it was. Mazabom, and it was a perfect marble at first, and I washed it, and the Mazabom broke down, and I finally realized what it was. All right, here's the lined, China lined. Oh yeah, super fancy pink clay. It's worn off. I think that was that bright color to start with. Concretions were used as marbles. What else? That's wood. This one here looks like it's hashish. Some sort of FEMA or clay. I definitely have some other FEMAs that aren't in this little group. But so definitely here's like the various different things that I've gotten in the marble collections. But then right here, so these guys here are pretty badass. I got the Marble King. The Marble King highly desired sets here. This is crockery. Fancy. Two color green and blue on white. But all right, so I think I pulled a couple of these out and we were looking at them before. Here's an amber base burnt. Big old Boy Scout shooter. Peacock. Master. Yes. Here's more. That blue base. Super hard to find. Transparent blue base. I'm gonna correct that. Here it is again. So these things here would like fetch in an auction on their own. So these ones, there's like new remakes and there's old. And again, I'm always looking for the old stuff, and there's ways to tell the difference. This is a newer one, but it's really cool. Very hard. I'm going to pluck a few of these up and set these down. Oh, yeah. You can see there's what I'm plucking here is all super hard to find. I'm just going to do that. Marble King. Super hard. So this is like a burnt bee. Ruby. There's her ruby bee. Transparent bee. Transparent blue based. Super, super bright colors on this one. So yeah, these are all very hard to find. Shooter Burnt Rebel. No, there's a different name for this thing. What the heck is that? Oh, this just keeps going on. There's Oxblood Master Dog. Marble. Here's another one of these. That one's transparent brown glass base. Yeah, and they're filthy, so you can't see. You can see the dirt on my fingers as I clean them off. So yeah, it's a bunch of very hard to find. What's this guy? See, here's another rare shooters. All right. This is pretty cool. This is actually a stone. Oh, my back's getting sore from leaning over, and I still got a bunch more I really got to show on this series. You're gonna have to break it down, maybe. No, we'll get. I want to do. What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do here? So the middle is primarily nothing special, but again, nice diversity of stuff, and there are some pretty cool moderns in here. The Easter eggs. These are Dave's Appalachian swirls here. So I've got quite a bit. Actually, I bought a couple of series of these because you can see these things. They each resell between $10 and $100 each, and they're modern marbles. So I literally have. Here's another. Here's a champion with some metallic in there. But this is what I want to show off. This is the biggest German I've got. Boulder. And they're older. They tend to be more worn. Same thing. Polishing them takes the value out of them. It's the cool box we didn't take a look at before. Is worth taking a look at. There's definitely some bunch of nice ones, and then some exquisites. So as an artist, whatever, I kind of put these groupings together sometimes just because they feel beautiful. I don't know what else to say. That here's just a random floater right there. Anyone that knows. There's actually with a whole bunch of Peltiers. Let's see. Here's another. Oh shoot! I didn't realize those were taped together. So this is a neat little grouping of cat's eyes. Yeah, people consider cat's eyes to be worthless, but if you know about cat's eyes, they're not so. And then I think I just acquired that group. That a lifesaver mixed in. So it's a constant thing going through all these. It's non-stop. There's got a whole bunch of the Peerless patches. I was trying to remember the name of them earlier. Peltiers. What else? These two here, I was telling my daughter, they're really hard to give up, these two. These are the first Germans I picked up, I'm pretty sure. I got them as a pair. Same thing though, searching out. The gal normally sold jewelry and had them listed wrong. And so I got this for a screaming deal. That's how all this stuff basically came to me. It was all like mislisted. And... Okay, so let's check out. Here's some of these modern ones. The Dave's Appalachian swirls. right? And so it's so hard to do it like this, but to show off, to take the time and dig out each of these individuals, and I'm not sure if it's this batch or this next batch. I'll show you one of these two. There's the Sammy Mountain Magic and the Dave's Appalachian Swirls. I think these are the DAS. There's so much glittery stuff in there. Again, if I could break out individuals and light them properly. I didn't set that up proper today. I'll have to do another show where I just go through these. These will sell for anywhere from $10 to $100 each, if they're properly shown as individuals. They're so freaking exquisite. And the guys that are putting these out are straight up glass masters. Let's see if we can show this off here. All right, there. You see it, the sparkles in there and everything. So many of these have that avertine going off, right? It's so hard to really show. Like, to properly show marbles, I go and set up like a lighting situation and black and side lighting and get the magnifiers all in the right place, and then you try and offset all the glare and to really show what's going on a marble. It can be some of the plain ones are pretty exquisite, and you get into the really bitchin' ones, and of course it's going to be rare that you sell one for 100, but quite a few of these will go for $20 each when you present them as individuals. I was spending way too much time with my marbles and needed to move on. So I left them alone for a while, and they ended up just gathering dust. So I put them in the closet. And now it's time for them to move along and make someone else's home happy. And I have other things to do with the value. So yeah, bulking them off, I'll never get what the individual values are. This is just exquisite. Sammy's Mountain Magic. Okay, that's called frit. Look at that thing glistening. So there's the frit are the different colored speckles, and then the glistening is called avertine or Lutz. There's two different things going on. So Lutz is like little bits of gold flake, but it's not gold. And then, okay, there's blue avertine sparkling right there. Yeah, exquisite gems of art. And just I can just keep going and go. But so then here's the other from the I think that was the DAS, and here's the Sammy's Mountain Magic. So these got like oxblood, silver dollars. There's the same kind of sparkly stuff going on in here. Some of these ones aren't perfectly round, but they were never intended to be played, I don't think. Lots of heavy oxblood in here. So same deal though. These could be all gone through, individually sold off for way more than I ever paid for. Oh, here was a bonus I got in there. This is oxblood on clear base. And so all these are like known runs. Kind of hard to beat that stuff. Little pocket comfort, cruising around with. Some people need a security blankie. Some people need a animal to go with them. I just put a couple of these in my pocket and I'm good to go. Avertine. Yeah, these are exquisite. So it's all included in. Oh, look at this one right here. Boy Scout translucent furnace swirls. Oh yeah. Let's see. What's next? What's next? Wind this down here a little bit. There's so many more. I'm mostly through the really good shit. Oh, here we'll do that one, and then we'll finish up with that one. All right. And then I'll do a quick pan of what we haven't done. But so this one right here, one of those single player outfits. So this guy graduated in 1960, and I've got his yearbook, the coffee can. He put his marbles in, and you can tell he was a street player and an urban player because some of these are super beat up. So he would have had some for playing on pavement, right? In which case he would have used, where is it? Somewhere in here. It's tucked in. I don't see it right now. There's a little teeny nubbin, there it is, of crayon he would have used to mark the circle on the street. But context and everything, here's a couple more stone marbles, right? You can see the facet from the stone crystal structure on there. The Benningtons, extremely well worn MFC. Yeah, worn that thing. We call those old warriors. Here's a natural banded agate stone. He's got a wooded one. All right, so people think some of these marbles they collect and these oddballs is strange, but this is an actual player's marble, right? So, but getting into some of these things, it turns out some of these are really, really rare. Slag, gosh, it just doesn't show proper. Wonder if we zoom it. So these things here, when the right person identifies them and realizes what's in there, it's like, oh, some of these marbles are each worth $25 to $75 each, and they just look like old raggies. But when you realize what they are in the context and the age, so nothing in here is old, is newer than, you can see, nothing in there is newer than like the 60s, but it's all older. There's barely any newer material. Here's one of those glowies. It's broken. Cherry bomb. One of these is, there's definitely cherry bomb in here. CAC. Here's some crockery striped chinas. Handmade clays, right? There's some alleys in here. This one didn't have anything super. There's the aquas. There's these stone band, or a real old stone banded agate. That's a classic right there. But I'm pretty sure these are like MFCs. And there's a stone peewee. There's an alley flame or CACs. The CAC is really white base with the red, with the bright blood red. So I think that's. Oops, I'm pointing and my finger's off the screen. These guys over here. Oh, right, old purple slags. There's some real ones of those in here. And then I thought there was a brick or two. They're all filthy. It's hard to say. What do I got? There's some Germans. What is I got? Aquas. All right, so but yeah, that one comes with the yearbook, the coffee can, and the crayon, right? So full context for museum style. And I'm trying to get this to zoom out more. There we go. So went. All right, I think we're gonna get into the finale of it for now. For the most part, depending on who you are, the rest is generic. But there's not all of it's got stuff in it. Every one of these boxes I've opened up, something pops out of, right? But right here, what do we have here? This is not entirely CAC, but it's almost entirely Christensen Agate Company. This is where I was at. Was starting to collect these bad boys when let's see, go back a little bit here. And there's definitely some CAC that are in here that are super valuable. But I don't have any of the really nice ones. This is a hand gathered transparent swirl. There's a few of those in here. I need a little something to get them out with. My fingers are too thick to go in these little holes. CSC Dragon. CSC Boy Scout. It would have been named Boy Scout later, but here's, oh, this one here, is this the Eye of Horus? I think this is the Eye of Horus. I don't know how you hold it. Anyhow, so hard to the light. You get the color to show the way it should. Yeah. What? All right, here's electric. This is one I found in the bottom of a junk pile of marbles. Literally, somebody like sold this to me for like 2 cents, along with £10 or so. That's a Christensen Agate Company, electric. And let's see. Oh, here's a striped opaque. Here's one of my, definitely one of my nicer CACs. That could command, depending on the market, that could go. I wouldn't sell it individually for less than 75, and it could take 200 easy, I think, depending on the market conditions. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best one. There's a few of these here. Let's see. This one's got a couple of nicks, but it's got amazing flameage going on, right? I wish I could get. I'm hating the whole. It's not focusing shit. So the first time I got a hold of some of these, I didn't know what they were or what they were worth, and I sold them to a guy for like $20 each, and the next day he got like $150 each. Here's an electric striped opaque. Actually, it might even be a semi-trans, like just a really dark black clear glass or transparent. This one's not an electric, I don't think. And you can see, well, it might be. It's the same base glass, right? There's definitely had variations in their glass because of what they had available to them to work with. So, but there's a little pile of love. What else have we got here? Here's one that's like just a plain blue opaque CAC. But it's very distinctive glass. So many of these swirls. Christensen Agate Company. Oh, here's a couple of these. So I got 3, I guess. We were looking at that one earlier. So you see some of these colors in some of these other groups I've had, right? And I leave them separate when I want to keep in the group context. But this is what they call the tunnel in the road. It's one of the identifiers of their cut mark glass formation. So you go by color and the swirls and all those things, right? Um, questionable, maybe not. White base glass is a huge telltale on some of these. But here's our striped transparent or slag. That's what they call these. Okay, so we saw some of those earlier that were in context and as a group. These are all ones I've plucked out of big groups or whatever. And let's see. Bunches of beautiful dragons throughout. What else is important in here? Oh, so some of these they're not. These are definitely not CSC, but this one here I think is seafoam. This one here we never really found out what it is. Might have been like 1980 or something somewhere. But this is one of my favorite marbles, period. And the whole everything for whatever, it's just like my favorite color, blue. That form, it's unusual. Oh, here's a snotty though. So frustrating. As I'm bent over here, and it's just wrecking my back. These guys here. Let's see. Not in the scene. There we go. Got really white glass, and then so these are transparent ribbons, though. So it's not really the electric grouping. Electric, transparent, electric, striped, transparent. All right, I'm getting into the last really important groupings here. And we'll shut her down. So I get my fingers in these holes. That one there is repaired, restored. So again, I have tons of alleys in the glass, and you can compare the colors on the base and everything. Um, some of these are, there's a Farmer's John. Okay, here. This is the last group. These are all really bitching. I'm getting exhausted, so we're not gonna go past this group right here. And there's a striped opaque right here that's phenomenal. It's almost a sand. Someone might classify that as a sand. But the sand, I think, has two seams that look like that. I could be mistaken. All right, and then fairly weak striped opaque, swirled opaques. But what's hiding down there in the dark? Besides, I mean, and that's quite the group of CACs for starter collector CACs. Right here. This is something that you're not going to find in those super nice ones. It's a pair of jennies. We'll close it with that. So if you're interested, look up about jennies. That might be some of the most hardest to find. But jennies, I'll tell you about jennies. Jennies were made by a fellow on his lunch break for his wife. That's why they're called Jenny. But they weren't part of the commercial run. He snuck the whole thing out in his lunchbox. They weren't really available. So, anyhow, let's take a quick gander of the rest of the hoard here, just in case I don't get another chance to fill this in and somebody really wants to see what's going on. There's the cat guarding. She's sitting on, those are whole bunches of vitros, all years of vitros separated out. We got a couple of gauntlets of more modern stuff. These bags back here. Oh, here, this is cool. Black cats. Old Vacor de Mako. Some very unusual cat stuff, black cats. Whole bunches of different vitro, all broken out here by run, by year, by color. This is all stuff that I had actually on the auction block. So there's a whole bunch of good stuff in there. We've got art jars, whole bunches of groupings, art jars all ready to sell. What people might call junk. Again, I showed you there's a $100 marble I pulled out of the bottom of junk. So the color coordinated styles, actual junk stuff. But sometimes, like, is it junk or is it not? So the junk alone, stuff like this, if someone doesn't like it, they tend to sell them at, but this isn't junk though. These are like antique vitros that are collectible. Blueberries, patch. So again, it's just all jumbled together. Here's some stone, not junk. I guess it's relative as to what people, one person thinks it's all junk versus here's a bunch of foreign mixed. Here's one of those fake Supermans. Yeah, no, these aren't junk at all. Cat's knocking marbles over. These are actually hard to find vitros. Different cats, different groups. Getting colors separated out right clear. You use art jar. So, but like these ones are all ones that they're sand, beach glass, where they've run through the polished them. And wait, is that even a? That might be something worth pulling out even. Classic antiques that people pay $20 for these jars. They're beautiful with water in them. You can put them in the designer. $10 to $20 though per jar or pound, right? So I got this stuff here to be considered junk, and at a minimum, these go for $10 a pound. Here's Jabo Classic. Somebody stole my best Jabo Classics. Can't believe someone stole the Clearies again. But I try and break out if they're obscure or foreign into groups, and so they're historically contextual. And then I got moderns mixed. All reds. So there really isn't junk per se, unless you're all these cat eyes are color coordinated. I wanted to do some neat stuff with art form while, but again, they can be resold as there's game pieces by the pound. There's a bunch of Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, all mixed in. So you can't just say keep the junk out because it's not. But that's the majority. That's it, really. It's oh no, there's cases and cases. We didn't go through cases and cases. Oh! I just spilled all the cats, the shooters. Oh, let's look at shooters real quick. I got a couple of different boxes of shooters, but there's like regular generics. What's this? Is I think a Peltier. So, but there's caged cats, shooters, some wire pool shooters. What else do I got in the shooter realm? There's definitely unusual shooters, and then I got this box here. On my hip. A lot of glow-in-the-dark shooters in here, and mixes. There's a bowl of modern. Here. This is a rare one. Peltier banana shooters. Okay. There's some industrial nibs. I think the old glow-in-the-dark blues. I think those are all are all UV glass right there. Some people call it junk. These ones. I had a bunch of them big ones. They're cool. These are probably 71, 68 on those. More beach glass. Generic shooter cats. A bunch of stuff I was still sorting out. I was talking about, we never did get to look at there's a jar full of St. Mary's bicolors. Alright, all transparent pelts. Pelts. Right, and again, there's definitely, I just don't know what all of them are. I try and learn and go, but again, it's time for me to move on and let someone else learn them all. So, yeah. Well, that was a fun 2 hours and 15 minutes of inventorying and showing the depth of the collection here. Whatever. It'll give folks who want to buy this an idea. The main. I did not go through all of these because they can't. That's for them to do. Peace out. Have a great day. Happy 420. Go out in the world, make it a better place with the meat suit you was given to do it in. Marblicious.